Welcome back. This week, I nearly didn't make a video for you because I am right in the middle of major resistance. So I started a beautiful embroidered piece just before Easter, and I had lots of time over those 4 days of Easter to put work into it, and it was all going really, really well. And then I just looked at it one day and thought, this is just not coming out as I want it to come out. Um, and I go into great detail over in my Patreon group. So if you want to hear the whole story and see the whole thing, you can pop over there and have a look. But the essence of what I want to talk about today is how do we move forward when we have lost complete and utter interest, motivation in the current piece we're working on? And it's a really big question. And I talked a couple of weeks ago about how we abandon ourselves in our creativity when we jump from one shiny new project to the other and we don't complete this one. And I'm a Gemini, so this happens a lot. But generally, I go back. I will have 10 projects on the go at once, but I will go back and finish them all because there's just so many wonderful creative things to do in the world, and I get excited about all of them. And sometimes for me too, it's like when the inspiration comes and that energy is moving through my body, I want to act on it and I want to use that. Back to this piece, there is none of that energy going on because this piece is just not flowing for me. So let me swap cameras and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here is the piece. So here's the pattern. It is a large V-neck panel for the front of a dress. Now this dress is for me and it's going on navy blue. That's why I'm on navy blue organza here. And it's going to be a day dress. Um, and I was using these beautiful silk threads and I love the color palette. I want it to be really dark and rich and um, organic. See, I've got these lovely purple shades all going beautifully into my palette that I'm liking. But the problem sometimes, oh, and I've worked it all with the tambour hook. So the problem here is that I don't want too much beading and too many sequins. A little bit is okay. But because it's an everyday dress, I don't want it to be blingy. And for me, as soon as I start using the tambour hook, it's all about bling because it's the quickest way and the most effective way to put on beads and sequins. So I was trying to dumb it down when I was working, and I have done that. I used sequins here. The blue ones are staying. I like those. But then I started fabric sculpting, which is my signature technique. And it's like, I need to stop. This is just not looking like an everyday practical dress. And there's a little bit too much tambour embroidery. I don't love this style of tambour thread painting. And I'm not loving it in this panel. So how do I move forward? How do I move through that resistance? Well, it's been sitting here looking at me in the studio for the last couple of weeks, and I've started other projects and I just haven't wanted to know about it. So my resistance got so strong today that I decided I needed to take action by making this video and talking to you guys about it because every artist that I know encounters this kind of issue. We feel inspired, we gather our palette, we start stitching or painting or cooking or whatever it is that you're doing, writing your piece of music, and then we lose momentum. We're not pleased with the results. So I'm going to try some cotton threads. These are DMC, these are Anchor and Madeira. And I'm going to stitch a couple of flowers and see if I can combine the cotton thread by hand stitching, not with a tambour hook, And maybe take these out and redo them. So the resistant part of me said, yes, but you just spent 4 days stitching that, hours and hours and hours of work. It's like, yeah, but I don't love it. So in the commitment that I've made to full authentic expression, I don't want to keep working on something. Well, I haven't got the motivational energy. The desire is just not there to keep going with the panel as it is because I know it's not feeling right. And that's what really I want to talk about is sometimes as a creative, we engage in what I call magical thinking, where we just put our blinkers on and keep working and hope that it's all going to be okay at the end. But I can already feel that I don't love it. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's not the desired outcome or the look, or it's not practical enough for me for an everyday garment. So I don't have magical answers for what to do in this situation. And that's also why I was super resistant to making this video. But I'm not here to be an expert. I'm just here to share my creative journey with you and hopefully inspire you because you are experiencing exactly the same things as a creative and as an artisan that I experience. And we can work together as a community and help each other. So I sat quietly this morning, got the idea to get out the cotton threads and do some hand embroidery and see if that's going to be more the look that I want. But really, it's about showing up, not abandoning ourselves, not abandoning the project, building trust in our capacity to navigate tricky things, not to give in, not to get disheartened. Tenacity is one of my favorite words, especially when it comes to beginners learning how to use the tambour hook. Tenacity is super, super, super important. You have to keep showing up and you have to keep practicing until you get good. So that's really all I've got for you today is to normalize your experience. I think every creative and artisan I know will have a project at some point where they just lose interest. And if it's been a big project, like when I never lost interest in that gown, I loved it. But sometimes on a big project, if I've been working on it for months, you get like 3/4 or 7 1/8 of the way through, and it's just like, oh, not this thing again, and you have to really motivate yourself to finish. If it's client work, then that's the motivation. It has to be finished. But if it's for me, there's less motivation. And that's what I want to correct. And that's what I want to grow out of, that pattern of just giving in, abandoning the project and abandoning myself. So I'm just here to encourage you to maybe get out one of those projects that you've stalled with, sit with it, allow it to tell you the next step, walk past it every day for the next week or so, and just create space to hear what that next step might be. And then for me and my busy little ego, the next challenge will be if this idea doesn't work out, that's okay. It may be the answer, it may not. But maybe while I'm quietly hand stitching with the cotton threads, even if that outcome isn't the desired outcome, maybe as I'm doing that step, the answer, which is the next step, or the next step, or the next step, whatever it might be, will come because I'm sitting in a place of openness and I have invited my intuition to, fill that gap and tell me, show me the way. What is the next step? I'm not rushing to the finishing line. I'm willing to undo. I'm willing to reverse, take out hours and hours of hand stitching if need be, because I am committed to their stress. I love the idea of it. I felt so uplifted, inspired by it, and I want to create it. And I want to create it beautifully and to the best of my ability. So I hope that helps you this week if you are encountering something similar with one of your projects. And if you would like to join me and my community on Patreon, we would love to have you join us. And then you can see the longer video with all the bits that I talk about over there. All right, have a great week. Bye for now.